$1 million. Hey, what if I gave you $1 million today? Wouldn't you ask some questions before you put it anywhere? You would, right? So now, why is it that most people never ask any questions when it comes to their own money, when it comes to their own retirement? See, I'm a licensed fiduciary. My name is Jermaine Turvey. And every single day, I help families answer these 5 questions about their money. And if you have a financial advisor and they haven't helped you answer these 5 questions, then your money may be in trouble, right? So today we're going to talk about the 5 questions that every single dollar should answer. All right. And the first question, or before I even get to the first question, I will tell you this: be ready to take notes and be ready to learn. And question 5 is going to be something that you probably never thought about. So, the first question that every dollar should answer is this safe? Is my money safe? Is your money safe? Is it safe? See, society has taught us that we have to risk every dollar in order to make money. And that's just simply not true, right? It's not true. See, yes, we have the stock market. Yes, many people take advantage of it. However, if your money's always at risk, and 97% of advisors and people never beat just the average in the market, why play that game, right? I don't know about you, but 3% chance, I don't like the odds of that, right? So making sure that your money is safe, especially if your retirement banks on this, especially if your family depends on this, why would you risk it? Just a question. Now, the second question that every dollar should answer is, how much access do you have to your money? How much access? See, it it bothers me that we have the same economic system that we did decades ago. Why? Because things are changing every single day. We're in a new age, right? Technology is taking over everything, and it's evolving everything. It's helping things progress. So if we have AI in the internet and technology, why are we still following the same system of the 1920s and the 1930s and the 1940s and the 1950s before we had any of these things? But every single day, I see it happen. People are putting their money into things like a 401k, which was created in the 70s. Why was it created? To supplement retirement. However, people have this as their only retirement plan. And guess what? If you have a TSP or you have a 403B or you have a 457A, these are, say, sons and daughters, right? Children of the 401k. They're just different versions of it, right? This is for the military, nonprofits, government. So, why is it that everybody's putting their money into this vehicle or even an IRA when you can't even touch it until you're 59 and a half? Why? If an emergency happens, if you decide, hey, I've worked super, super hard, and this year I want to take some money out to celebrate my marriage, I want to take some money out to celebrate my children, to celebrate my family, to celebrate myself, I want to go on a trip and I want to take $20,000 out of the amount that I have. Say it's 200,000, quarter million, half a million, whatever it is. But you can't touch it because you're 59 and a half. But it's your money, but you can't access it. Is that really a good deal? I don't know. You tell me. All right. So let's move on. Right. The third question that every single dollar should answer is how much growth are you receiving in that account? How much growth? See, there was an amazing man that changed history forever. And if I say E equals MC squared, some of you know immediately, right? The man was Albert Einstein. And he was one of the most brilliant minds in human history. And he was asked a question. They asked him, out of everything that you've learned, everything that you've come up with, what is the concept that still blows your mind? And what he said was compound interest, right? He even went ahead and say it's the eighth wonder of the world. And he came up with something called the rule of 72. Now, the rule of 72, for those of you who have never heard of this, is something very, very important to how your money grows. Why? Because the rule of 72 tells you how often your money will double, right? And the way this works is you take the number 72 and you divide it by the interest percentage that you are earning on your money. So let's just say, for example, you have your money in the bank account and your bank gives you 1% if you're lucky, right? 72 divided by 1 is 72. Guess what? If you leave your money there, it'll take you 72 years for your money to double. Who has 72 years to wait? I don't know. I definitely don't, right? So the interesting thing is, if your money doubles at just 4%, then now your money doubles, or excuse me, if you're earning 4% interest on your money, now your money doubles every 18 years. Well, what if we went ahead and said your money is earning 6%? Now, the difference between 4 and 6 is not that great, right? See, the average high yield savings account used to be 4%, or an average CD used to be 4%. Now, a 6% return is something that you can get in different vehicles, right? So now at 6%, your money actually doubles every 12 years, right? Only 2% difference, but that's a 6-year span, right? Pretty significant. Now, what if your money were to double every 12, or excuse me, at 12%? If your money doubles, if your money is earning 12%, then your money will double every 6 years, right? Now, that's a big difference. So, why is this so important? It's important because you must be making sure that your money is growing efficiently and it's earning the best percentage that it could. Now, when we talk about growth, there's actually 3 ways that your money can grow. And the first way is a strategy called fixed, right? See, fixed is considered to be safe and guaranteed. So it grows in a flat line, right? But it's slightly bent that way, right? So it's slightly bent that way. So it grows a little bit, right? That's like your 4%. So no matter what happens in the market, your money will earn 4%. Right? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw your regular checking account grow without you putting money into it? There's a percentage on there, but is it significant? Not at all. Now, the second way that your money can grow is a strategy that most people are using, which is a strategy called variable. Now, in this strategy, you can make money, but you can also lose money. And you can lose all your money. Now, why would somebody do that? Well, probably because that's all they know. The stock market, mutual funds, money market accounts, they're in the variable strategy. Now, what if your money drops 20% right before you retire, right before you go to use it? You wouldn't be very happy with that, would you? Probably not. So, what if there was a way for your money to actually grow, and if the market dropped, it's protected, and then the market goes up and it grows, and if the market drops, your money's protected. If the market goes up, it grows and protected. Growth and protection. Well, this is a strategy called indexed. Indexed. And guess what? The wealthy use this strategy. Guess what? The banks actually grow their money in this way. It's actually public record that 68% of the top 1,000 companies in America grow their money in an indexed way. Why? Because they don't have to worry about the downside of the market. Pretty smart, right? Now, why is this not public knowledge? How come? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when these accounts were created, they were actually created for the employer, for the business owner. Sorry, they weren't created for the employee. So if you put your money into one of these accounts, your employer gets a tax deduction. To sell you on the deal, you get a limited tax deduction as well. However, the firms that partner with the corporations that have your money here, this is called money under management. I'll put it to you in red. So, money under management, which means when your money is under management, the people that manage your money get paid in the form of fees. They move your money here, they make a trade, they do this, they do that, they move it, fees. Every transaction has a fee. Okay? If you look up some of these big companies that have that are managing these accounts, I won't say any names, but there may have been some lawsuits for an excess of fees. So I would look up your company and see if that's been the case, if they've been sued before for excess fees, right? So now let's move on. The fourth question that every single dollar should answer is, how are taxes going to affect my money? How are taxes going to affect my money? Why is this so important? Because taxes affect every dollar that you make in America. Every single dollar, right? And there's three ways for you to pay taxes, right? There's one way, which is called taxed now. And with tax now, you're basically paying taxes 2 times. Who wants to pay taxes 2 times? Nobody. However, Every time you get paid, you get a paycheck. And then if you invest your money into stocks, the market, real estate, a lot of different investments, then you pay taxes on the growth of that money, right? So, is this the best way to do it? I don't know. That's for you to answer. There's also a way called tax deferred or tax later. Now, these are your accounts that are normally with an employer. So you don't pay taxes on the money now. You defer the taxes until later. You get a small tax deduction. And in the future, you have to pay all those taxes. You pay taxes on the money that you put in, and you pay taxes on every single dollar in interest that was made. And guess what? If your company matches you, then you have to pay taxes on all that money and all that interest as well, right? So when these accounts were created, taxes were about 70%. Can you imagine? Every time you got paid, 70% of your money went right back to the government. How would you be able to afford your home? How would you be able to drive the car that you drive? Would you drive the car that you drive? Would you live where you live? Would you feed your kids what you feed them now? Would you do what you do now on a regular basis off 30% of your income? Chances are the answer is no. So it made sense to take a portion of your money, delay the taxes until later to when taxes were going to be lower. But guess what? We are at an 80-year historical low. So do you think taxes are going to continue to go down, or are they going to go up? Well, according to the statistics, according to the country's debt and the way things are going, they have to go up, right? So if they have to go up, would it make more sense to pay taxes now or in the future when they're higher? Probably now, right? So this may not be the best option. It may. That's for you to decide. The third way for you to pay taxes is a strategy called tax advantage. Tax advantage. Now, this is where the wealthy put their money. This is where banks put their money. Why? Because later down the road, they can access all their money tax free. Yes, that's exactly what I said, tax free. So in these accounts, you can actually grow all your money tax free and withdraw it once again tax free. If you want to learn more about these strategies, click the link down below and schedule a complimentary family financial game plan. So the fifth question that every single dollar should answer is, what happens to my money if there is a premature death? What happens? Is your money protected? Is it not protected? Is it going to be passed down? How is it going to be passed down? Well, if you have your money in any of these accounts that were set up by your employer, hate to break it to you, but your money is going to go into something called probate court, where they can take up to 50% of all of your hard-earned money. Now, is that something that you want to happen? Or is that something that you want to avoid? Right? Because I know if something happens to me, I would hate for the courts to take 50% of everything that I meant to go to my wife and children, I wouldn't like that at all. So these are the 5 questions that every single dollar of yours should answer. And if you want to make sure that your dollars are answering these 5 questions, then click the link down below and schedule a complimentary, which means free, family financial game plan. Again, my name is Jermaine Turby. I'm a licensed fiduciary. I'll see you on the next video.